Goeiemôre graad 9's. Ons gaan vandag ons tab dokument afsluit deur die laaste 2 vragies te doen van jou opdragies wat ek vir jou gegee het. So as ons kyk na vragie nommer 4, het hulle vir jou gesê, maak oop die dokument Solar Systems. So ek het hom al reeds oopgemaak, daar is hy. Dan sê hulle vir jou, formateer die dokument soos aangetoon deur die volgende instruksies te volg. Onthou om eers al die teks te selekteer. Goed, soos wat ek vir jou gesê het. As jy tabs wil instaande dokument, dan moet jy eers al jou inligting gaan highlight. OK. Dan sê hulle vir jou, voeg 'n tab by 1 cm in. So ek gaan in, Home tab, Paragraph, Expander button, klik op tabs, en ek gaan sit in 1 cm, so ek kyk na my prentjie, sal jy sien is 'n left tab, so ek gaan sê 1 cm, left, geen leader, set. OK, sien jy dit 'n afskuif onder toe. Goed, volgende vragie, dan sê hulle vir jou verwyder die tab by 4 cm, so ek gaan terug, ek gaan klik op die 4 cm tab, en ek gaan klik net op kleur, want ek wil nie almal verwyder nie, ek wil net daardie een verwyder, nou het ek my 13 cm ook verwyder. OK, so ek wil net my 4 cm verwyder, so jy klik net op daardie een, en dan verwyder jy hom. OK, so kom ek wys jou gou weer, ons het ingaan by tabs, ek het my 1 cm gaan insit, het was 'n left tab, en ek het gesê set, dan moes ek 4 cm gaan kleur, so ek klik op 4 cm, en dan klik ek op kleur. Wees baie versigtig, soos jy sien, is baie maklik om ander tabs ook te kleur. So ek wou net die 4 cm gaan kleur. Goed, volgende een. Dan sê hulle vir jou skuif die tab, so dis 'n regter tab, wat by 13 cm is, na 6 cm. So in plaas van om hier te stel, gaan ons nou sê OK, en hulle sê vir jou skuif hom van 13 cm na 6 cm toe. OK. So nou sal jy sien, kort daar 'n paar tabs nou hier tussenin. So nou sit ek net my tab, klik ek op my knoppie, as jy nou kyk na jou show en hide, wys hy vir jou, daar korte tab daar, klik voor my inligting, tab, klik, tab, daar's almal onder mekaar en op die regte plek. Goed. En dan kan ek hom gaan save. Goed. Dan maak ek hom toe. Dan gaan ek my volgende vragie doen. Nou sê hulle vir jou, maak die reptile courses oop en formateer die rooi teks soos volg. As jy nou mooi kyk, hier kort 'n 5 cm center tab, 10 cm regter tab. OK, so ek maak my courses oop. Daar's my rooi teks. Gaan in, Home, Paragraph, Expander, tabs, ek gaan insit 5 cm center set, 10 cm right set, en net seker maak, ek het die regte beet, 5 center en 10 right, ja, ek is op die regte pad, Dan klik ek op OK, en daar is hy alreeds perfek reg soos wat hy moet wees. OK, so dan kan ek hom ook net gaan en sê, save as, browse, en dan gaan save ek hom ook net. Goed, nou as jy gaan 10 teen 1 in 'n eksamen of 'n toets so 'n oefeningkie kry, waar daar al reeds bestaande data is en jy jou tabs moet insit of moet skuif, of dalk 'n tab moet kleur, so dit sal min of meer lyk soos hierdie laaste oefeningkies wat ons nou gedoen het. Nou, saam met hierdie video wat ek vir jou gemaak het, gaan ek nou ook vir jou 'n ander video bysit, so jy kan dan nou net bietjie nog 'n paar idees bykry van waar jy tabs op sekere maniere kan gebruik. Goed, so wanneer ons weer sien, gaan ons begin om bietjie te kyk na hoe verskillende items van Word gevra kan word in 'n toets of eksamen, so ons gaan nou volgende gaan ons bietjie hersiening doen oor al die woordkonsepte wat ons tot dusver gedoen het. Goed, ons gesels weer binnekort.
Hi, this is Deborah Sable Thornbrew, and I'm going to demonstrate how to set up tabs in a Word 2016 document. First, I'm going to place my flashing insertion point over here on the left, just to the left of this word, Central Sierra Insurance, to this line. So what I'm going to do is show you that I've already placed a tab on my ruler. Notice that there's a little capital L right there, and if I were to press my tab key right now, it will indent this line all the way over to this mark, which is placed at the 2.5 inch mark on the ruler. There it is. So I'm going to go ahead and backspace to remove that space and put it back to where it was. And I'm going to remove the tab by clicking and dragging this little capital L off the ruler, down and off. How did I do that? Well, here's what I did. First of all, you have to make sure that your ruler is shown on your screen. If you don't see this ruler going across the top of your page, then what you do is you go to the View tab, and on the View tab right here, there is a ruler choice. So you need to click a check mark into the ruler checkbox. Then your ruler will appear. So, okay, I'm going to go back to my home ribbon and make sure my flashing insertion point is right here. That's where I want my tabs to happen. There is a button over here on the far left side. It has a capital L on it, and if you hover your pointer right on that, it will show you that it is a left tab. If I click on that button once, it will change to a different kind of tab. There are multiple different kinds of tabs that you can insert. This one looks like an upside down T, is called the center tab. So if I use that tab, anything I type will be centered on the line. If I click it again, it'll be a backwards L, which means a right tab. If I click it again, it'll be an upside down T with a dot, which indicates that you're about to set up a decimal tab, which is really cool because that way any decimal numbers that you're typing in a list will automatically be aligned perfectly under the decimal point. So I'm going to click, there are other tabs you can use here, but I'm going to go ahead and go back to the original. This is the default setting, left tab. So let's say that I want to put a left tab in front of the word central here, well actually that whole line. And I want to place it at, I don't know, 1.5 inches on the ruler. So I'm going to point to the 1.5 inch mark, the bottom of it, click once, and there my left pointing tab, or left tab is set. And if I just press my tab key once, it will insert that line all the way to that exact setting. So I'm going to backspace once more. And I want you to know that you can click and drag on your little tab indicator along the ruler. You can click and drag it to another location if you want. So you can put it anywhere you want just by clicking and dragging it, and then press tab and it'll go to that point. Or you can click and drag to remove it down off the ruler. Now that doesn't mean that this will disappear automatically. It depends on where your flashing insertion point is at the time. So if I click down here to put my insertion point and then click and drag to remove that tab, then the line will revert to the default setting for tabs, which is just a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to backspace once more. There's another way to set up tabs which is even better, so that you can do more with it, and that is using the tabs dialog box. To open the tabs dialog box, you have to stay on the home ribbon, the home tab, and go to the paragraph area, paragraph group here in the middle, and then click here to open up the paragraph settings dialog box. Once you get that open, you have to find the tabs button in the lower left corner of that box. So you've got to look all the way down here at the bottom left and click tabs. Then you can do more with tabs. Check it out. You can do different alignments from here, and you can also include leaders so that when you press your tab key and it indents, you'll see maybe a dotted line going along that tab space, or a dash, or a solid line. So you have different choices you can make here. Now let's say that I want to create 2 tab stop positions. The first one I want to be at the 1 inch mark. So I'm going to type here in the tab stop position box, I'm going to type 1 for 1 inch. However, in order to make it stick, I have to click this button here to set it. Once you see the 1 inch appear here in this big window, you know it has been set. So just by typing in here doesn't mean that you're setting it up. You have to also click set down here. So I've got that one done. Now I want to do another tab, a separate tab. And by the way, both of the tabs are going to be left tabs, meaning they will indent from the left margin in. I'm not changing any of that. So I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to make the next tab stop position show up at the 3 inch mark. So I'm going to erase that one up here at the top and click and type 3. But before I click to set that tab, I'm going to choose a leader to go with that tab, so that when I tab over to this mark, to this 3 inch mark, there will be a dotted line that goes along. So now that I've got the left tab chosen, it's 3 inch, and I've got a dotted line chosen as a leader, now I'm going to click set. So I click set, and now I'm going to click OK. So as you can see on the ruler, I have a left tab indicator at the 1 inch and another one at the 3 inch. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click, make sure that my flashing insertion point is right here on the left of this line of text, Central Sierra Insurance. Make sure that the 2 capital L's are right where they want them to be. And I'm going to press tab once, and let's see what happens. Okay, good. It indented the line and brought it up to this 1 inch mark. Now I'm going to indent one more time. I'm going to hit my tab key once more so that it will indent to the 3 inch mark, but this time there should be a dotted line leader. There it is. The dotted line leader extended from the last tab, which didn't have a leader in front of it, to this second tab at the 3 inch mark. And so if you want to do elaborate tabs like that with leaders, you have to go on the home ribbon to the paragraph box, open the paragraph dialog box, and then click the tabs button in the lower left corner to open the tabs box. Now also from this tabs box, I can delete these tab stops. So I can click the one I want to delete. Let's say I want to delete this 1-inch one, and I can clear that one by clicking the clear button, and that leaves the last tab that I have not cleared. So now I'm going to click OK. Notice that the first tab has disappeared, but the second one is still there. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try hitting my tab key on my keyboard just once, since I removed the first tab but I left the second one. Let's see what happens. Well, the leader is still there, and it went from the beginning of the line all the way to the 3-inch mark. So because I removed that first tab, this one clicked in, locked in. So there's lots of versatility in how you can set up your tabs, and I encourage you to explore different tabs and working with them. They can really save you and make sure that your alignments are correct in a professional document.
Adding tabs and tab stops can make your life a lot easier, especially when creating things such as a table of contents. A tab stop basically is aligning somewhere on the ruler that will allow you to press the tab key and align the text up with that tab stop. Now, tab stops, there's a couple of types that you can have. You can have a left aligned tab stop, which is this L right here, and what that does is it will align the text to the left. The text will be on the right hand side, aligned to the left of the text. If you click here, you can see there's a perpendicular sign. This will center align the text wherever you put this marker. That means the text, whatever the word is, will be aligned to the center of wherever this marker is. And then you have right aligned, which this will do is it'll bump up the text right up to that point wherever you put it on the ruler. You also have a decimal alignment, which will allow you to align numbers based on the decimal. We're going to click back through and go to the first one, left align, the black L. To add in a tab stop, simply click up on the ruler where you want your tab stop to be. If your ruler is not shown, click on View and then check Ruler. So now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and add a tab stop on, I'm going to highlight this paragraph, and we're going to create a tab stop at 4 inches. I simply click on the ruler, this L appears. If I want to move it, if I didn't get it right where I wanted, I can click on the L, drag it to the right or drag it to the left, and you can see that dashed line shows me where this tab stop is going to be. So I go ahead, I'm going to leave it at 4 inches, click my cursor in between chapter 1 and page 1. I press the tab key, and this aligns the text right up with that point. If I change the type of tab stop I have, for example in this paragraph, I'm going to change this tab stop. Instead of a left align, I'm going to change it to a right align. To do that, I double click on the tab stop. It brings up the tab options. It's showing me I'm at the 4-inch tab position. It's a left align. I'm going to change it to a right align. Select OK. Now when I press the tab key, it's now aligned up to the right on this tab stop. So the text is aligned pushing to the right, or it's on the left hand side. I'm going to do this once more. I'm going to click in between chapter 3 and page 26, double click on my tab stop. If you click below, it won't do it. I double click on the tab stop. It brings up this option. I'm going to change it to a center align. I click OK. Now I press the tab key, and you can see this one is aligned to the center of that. This one is aligned on the left hand side, but it's pushed up to the right, so this is called a right align. And this one is a left align, you can remember because of the black L, and it's butted right up next to it right there. To get rid of the tab stops, make sure you're selected in the paragraph or in the line that the tab stop is in. Click and just drag the tab stop off, and it will disappear and remove your tab stop. So I'm going to remove each of my tab stops. What I want to do is add in a tab stop with a dot leader. To add in the tab stop, I can click up here and click on the ruler, or from my Home tab, I can go to the Paragraph panel and I'm going to click on the Twirl Out menu, which gives me paragraph options. You can see that here. I'm going to click down on the Tabs button. The Tabs button now shows me all of the options I have for the tab. And I want to make this tab at exactly 5 inches. So I'm going to type that in there. And I want to add a dot leader, which means there's going to be a lot of dots or periods in between the chapter and the page that it's found on. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and you can see this dot leader is applied. If I delete that, I press the Tab key, it will automatically push my text all the way to this tab stop and put in the periods. It doesn't matter if I change the amount of text I have, it will automatically update how many dots are in the dot leader. So this is something really nice in Microsoft Word, is adding a dot leader using tabs to your documents. Now if I want this dot leader on each one to be the same, I simply select them, click up on the Twirl Out menu for Paragraph, click down on Tabs, and I make them all at 5 inches. With the dot leader, I click OK. Now, these ones didn't work because I have not pressed Tab yet. I pressed Tab. Oh, looks like there's one already created there. Let me delete that. Press Tab, and there's one there, so let me delete that. And press Tab, and there you have it. You have a fancy looking table of contents.
Goodwill Community Foundation, creating opportunities for a better life.
I've written a letter that has several paragraphs, and to make each paragraph stand out just a little more, I want to add a first line indent. Before you add an indent, you may want to go to the View tab and make sure the ruler is displayed, since it makes it easier to customize your indents. To create a first line indent, you can just place the insertion point at the beginning of a paragraph and then press the Tab key. You may have noticed that when I did this little marker on the ruler moved forward ½ an inch. This is the first line indent marker. There's also the hanging indent marker, the left indent marker just below that, and the right indent marker. We can move them to create various types of indents. They don't affect the whole document, just the parts that are selected. So let's select all of these paragraphs. Now drag the first line indent marker. We can also create a hanging indent, which moves all of the lines except the first line. The left indent will move all of the lines at the same time, and the right indent is useful if you want to make a paragraph narrower. But for this letter, I need a more traditional look, so I'm just going to do a first line indent of ¼ inch. Indents are a good way to keep things lined up in your document. But for more complex documents, such as resumes, they're not always enough. I'd really like all of these dates to line up. I could just use spaces, but it's going to be difficult or impossible to get them to line up exactly. So I'll need to use tabs. If I place the insertion point right before the text I want to align, and then press the Tab key, it's going to jump forward in ½ inch increments. It's much easier to align these dates this way. If you go to the Home tab and click the Show Hide command, you'll be able to see the tabs, and they show up as these little arrows. You can delete them by pressing the backspace key. That works pretty well, but I'd like to have a little more control over exactly how the text lines up. I think a tab stop is exactly what we need here. Tab stops tell the text exactly where to line up, so you're not limited to ½ inch increments. On the left side of the screen is the tab selector. If you click it, it will cycle through all of the different types of tab stops that determine whether the text is left aligned, centered, right aligned, or aligned at the decimal point if you're using numbers. I'm going to select the right tab. Just like with indents, tab stops only apply to the selected paragraph. So select all of the ones that need tab stops. Then click on the bottom edge of the ruler where you'd like the tab stop to be. You can add more than one if you need to, and you can remove them just by dragging them off the ruler. Now, to align the dates, we want to add just one tab before each year, and they will jump to the new tab stop. Generally, you'll need to add one tab for each tab stop. You can also move existing tab stops. Make sure your text is selected, and then move the tab stop to the left or right. But be sure to allow plenty of free space for the text. If I move the tab stop too far to the left, the dates won't have enough room, so they won't line up correctly. This document looks a lot better now. Having everything lined up gives it a neater, more professional appearance.